Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about the things we love like gaming, shows, and anime. Today we got a special video. So for the last 2 years, I've been working on the list for this video. I feel that it's not easy coming up with an idea for a video game, and it feels as if every Dragon Ball Z game that's been made is pretty much it. Well, on this list, I'm going to show you that there are plenty of great ideas for the future Dragon Ball games. I think it's about time we get some really good creative-ass DBZ games, and since Japan has been holding on to the really good ones, I'm gonna share with you all my ideas for some Dragon Ball Z games we really need. I think we're all getting tired of the same routine with this franchise, so without any delays, let's begin. Number 10. Dragon Ball AF. I think the Dragon Ball community deserves their own game that features all the fan-made characters in the AF series. Now, as far as I know, there are 2 different AF mangas. No idea why they have the same title when they're completely different. I've reviewed one of them created by Toyotaro, but not the other one yet. But from what I've seen, the designs of each character look pretty damn good. Now, when I say this game should include AF characters, it should also include every other character from fan-made series such as Dragon Ball Epsilon and especially Dragon Ball Multiverse. Imagine a Tenkaichi-like game with the characters made by the fans. Don't think they suck, they really are well designed. Also, imagine what the story mode for these characters would be like. No more Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, Cell Saga, Boo Saga bullshit that we keep getting for every DBZ game. That's the reason why a lot of fans refuse to play the latest DBZ games, because we're sick and tired of playing through the same damn story mode. Get creative! With this game, creativity is the main target. Number 9. Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team 2. Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team was a badass game for the PSP. I was always hoping that the game would get a sequel, especially for the PS Vita. Imagine what the game could have been like on the Vita's crisp graphics and huge memory space. Tenkaichi Tag Team may be called Tag Team, but it actually doesn't use Tag Team. It uses something better. 2 characters fighting against 1 or 2 opponents at the same time. There are games that have allowed more than 2 characters fighting at the same time, like Battle of Z. But there were so many flaws of the game that it just didn't feel like the way we imagined it would be. But if they focused on making a sequel for Tenkaichi Tag Team, there will be no need to struggle with making the gameplay as good as possible, because if they simply put the same mechanics from Tenkaichi Tag Team with an online mode and increase the features of the first game such as extra characters, stages, specials, and most important of all, give us team specials for specific team-ups, that would be a lot of fun. Also, the battle damage that was featured in Budokai Tenkaichi 2 is something that needs to come back. Number 8. Dragon Ball Super Budokai Tenkaichi. I made a video talking about the idea of making this game a while back, and I still think it should definitely be made. The Budokai Tenkaichi games were so much fun, and those games didn't even have an online mode. So imagine having the latest Tenkaichi game be about Dragon Ball Super, which would include all the new characters we wanted to play as, like Hit, Goku Black, Frost, Kyabe, I mean the list goes on. Dragon Ball Super may not be as successful as Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, but it still has some potential, and I'm sure that if the first Dragon Ball Super game was a Budokai Tenkaichi game, it will make tons of fans super stoked to get their hands on it. Number 7. Saiyans, before they met Frieza. A lot of us have been wondering what happened before the Saiyan race met Frieza. We've only been told the origins of how the Saiyans were like vicious cavemen who didn't really know technology very well, so they agreed to live with the Saiyans, which they later killed to extinction after getting what they wanted. What a dick move. But imagine if we got to see the story for ourselves, creating our own character, our own Saiyan character, working with the Saiyans and upgrading our armor while progressing forward, getting stronger, and choosing whether to kill all the Saiyans or maybe convince your Saiyan brethren to spare their lives, which could probably help change the fate of their planet by the time they meet Frieza. This could be one hell of a game that leads to many new stories and characters we've never met. Number 6. NetherRealm Studios DBZ game. I know this could never happen since Bandai and NetherRealm Studios don't mix, but I would really like to see NetherRealm Studios make their own version of a Dragon Ball Z game. Can you imagine what kind of a game we'd receive? It would be bloody as hell. Think about it, the graphics would be superb, the details on their battle damage would be spot on as we've seen on the latest Mortal Kombat games, and the fatalities we could pull off would be phenomenal. Ed Boon would surely make the greatest DBZ game if he was given the chance. NetherRealm Studios always does a great job pleasing the fans, so there are no doubts that the game could suck. Mixing the Mortal Kombat features and mechanics with the Dragon Ball franchise would create the perfect game for us die-hard fans that grew up with the series and would love to see a game with a much darker tone. Number 5. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Japanese Pak. This is clearly something we've been needing for the longest time. Japan has had so many DBZ games that were never released for all regions, and I've heard great reviews on most of them, which they all require you to read in order to understand what's going on, especially the RPG games. I've been wanting to try those games out, and fans have actually had to hack most of them to change the Japanese text into English text. Bandai, if you have fans hacking the shit out of your games, take the fucking memo! Release them again and make them region free. Creating the Ultimate Japanese Pak would be a great idea that would give us all the Dragon Ball Z games that were only released in Japan, all in one game. Even if this only applies with the DBZ games from the NES, the Super Famicom, Game Boy, that's fine. I've always wanted to see what all the hype was about with these games. Make it happen, Bandai. Number 4. Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors 3. I love Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors 2. It was the first game I bought for the Nintendo DS. Supersonic Warriors 1 was pretty good as well, but it doesn't compare to its sequel. Supersonic Warriors 2 gave us team specials which are very creative. We got support characters which Extreme Butoden took the concept from and gave us a shit ton of support characters, and we got some amazing what if scenarios in the story mode. The game entertained me for a very long time. Until today I still play that game. If we ever got Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors 3, it would include every feature from Supersonic Warriors 1 and 2. One of the things I liked about the first game was that you can send your opponents crashing through mountains and blocks and all sorts of shit. It was awesome, and for some reason it wasn't added to the sequel. But imagine how many characters we could play as for Supersonic Warriors 3. Imagine the graphics enhanced, the amazing stages that are so wide you can't even reach the invisible wall. And the team specials, damn, that game would be a blast. Not to mention the fact that we would have an online mode, the best addition to a DBZ game. Trust me, online modes make DBZ games addicting as fuck. Extreme Butoden is an average game, and ever since it got the online mode, I can't stop playing it. Number 3. The Legend of Master Roshi. With a title like this, you can already tell that it's gonna be one hell of a game. I've always wondered what Master Roshi went through to become the world's greatest martial artist. We've gotten glimpses of his past, but only enough to give us a little insight on the situation. I'd like to see what kind of training Roshi and Shen went through, what kind of opponents they fought. Also, if the game concentrates on Roshi and only him, then the game would not have to be at all like every other DBZ game where you fly around launching Kamehas and Ki blasts all over the stage and destroying the world half to fucking extinction basically with the ultimate specials. This would be the best opportunity to make a whole new and interesting version of a Dragon Ball Z game. Number 2. The Origins of Lord Beerus. If Roshi's origins don't do it for you, then maybe you're looking for tougher opponents that can take on god level opponents. Beerus is the god of destruction. I always wanted to know more about this character. What got him into that position? Whis has always mentioned that Beerus will be replaced eventually, so if anyone can take the position of a god of destruction, what do they go through to earn this title? Beerus is probably everyone's main reason to why they watch Dragon Ball Super, and he's the one character we want to know more from. I know this because I get tons of requests to make 10 awesome facts on Beerus. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to make that video, but I gotta know more about him. And if Toriyama doesn't make a movie based on Lord Beerus, then we better at least get this game. Number 1. Dragon Ball VR Heroes. So far, the PlayStation VR appeared to get a lot of positive reviews. I'm sure by next year, every PlayStation fan will have a virtual reality experience in their homes. Now picture a Dragon Ball Z game similar to Dragon Ball Heroes, which is a Japan-only series with RPG elements and Pokemon elements mixed in with the DBZ universe. If we had a virtual reality game of Dragon Ball Z, the gameplay should be like Dragon Ball Heroes, because as much as we'd like to fight the characters like they do in the series, then we'd have to be lightning fast, which as far as I know, we're not Bruce Lee. If it's an RPG game, we could give orders to our teammates, choose where they move, which attack they use or defense, and what move you want to make as well. Say if you're doing a Kamehameha, simply perform the Kamehameha by yourself. I mean, it's a VR experience. I think it would be really cool if they made this work. Not to mention if it's got online mode. Damn, creating your own team, going up against the world, this would be an epic experience. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, leave a thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Also, let me know whether you would like to see any of these games be made. I hope to see them made sometime soon, but if it happens, and Bandai decides to keep it in Japan only, oh god, then there's no point in showing support to Bandai, because if they don't care about the fans in other countries, then why the fuck show any support at all? It's the classic middle finger to the fans, and we shouldn't be punished for not being born in Japan. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow, and remember to have an awesome day.